Welcome to Roxtalks, the podcast that helps network marketers grow their business on social media. I'm Roxanne Wilson, and I give you permission to pause. Today, we're going to be talking about pausing, what it means to pause, the importance of pausing, and how you can pause in your business without the fret of your business pausing on you. We'll be right back. If you ask me what was one of the best decisions I made in 2020 for my business, hands down, I would tell you it was getting BeLive. What's BeLive? Well, if you're watching me on YouTube, you're watching me. I recorded this podcast via BeLive. BeLive is my go-to for all of my live broadcasts on Facebook, my live shows on YouTube, and yes, even recording the Roxtalks podcast every week. Why do I love it? I love it for convenience. I love it for style. Look around. Looks pretty nice, right? I also love that it's cutting edge. So when Facebook makes a change or does something, guess what? Who's right on it already? BeLive is allowing me to do things like post the comments in real time so that people can feel that interaction when I'm doing a live video, allowing me to sell, literally have a little shopping, feels like it's home shopping again, a little area on my broadcast. And so that when someone wants it, they can just get the link and get directly and purchase while I'm there. It is the go-to. And not only do I love it, but what I love as well too is my clients love it. In fact, at the summit last week, we had people in the summit like Gretchen who said, "Oh my goodness, thank you for introducing me to BeLive. It's amazing." And it is. And you know what I love about that too? She then started doing videos for her network marketing company via BeLive on Facebook, and all of her upline sideline started saying, "What is that? What is that fancy thing? I want it too." See, what BeLive does for you is it gives you that competitive edge. It makes you look professional, and it is fantastic. If you'd like to try BeLive, I highly recommend that you do. For more information on how you can get a 14-day free trial, just go to bit.ly/social summit. Or you can check the podcast page, the Roxtalks podcast page, for more information. So you may have noticed that I look a little different today. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no problem wearing no makeup with you. You know, that's not my thing. I'm not fretting about that. But I am actually in my robe. My sister got this for me for Christmas. And I'm a little chillax. And you might even notice that the setup looks a little different. Why is that? Because today we're giving you permission to pause. It's something that we don't do enough of. We talk about self-care, and maybe you're in a network marketing company where you encourage self-care, but are you doing self-care for yourself? For yourself, self-care. I think because of the pace we're going lately, and because of the nature of our business, where we feel like if we're not doing IPA, income producing activity, that means we're not making money. If we're not posting on social media, that means our doors must be closed, that we freak out. But I'm here to tell you something very important. And you know this. So you're going to hear go like, "Hey, I know that," but are you practicing it? The most important thing you can do for your business is to fill your cup. You can't fill your cup. You can't pour into someone else's cup if your cup isn't full. That's how that goes. And so let's break down ways that you as a network marketer can still take a pause, even on social media. Permission to pause, I'm going to give you, whether it's long-term or short-term, and still know that your business is going and growing. All right. So let's start with the long-term ones. For those of you who are like, "I've just been frustrated. Facebook made me mad back in 2020, maybe perhaps in November, and I'm still mad at it. I'm not back yet. I'm just not there yet." I get that. Listen, I get that message from network marketers at least once a week still to this day. Got one just today, actually. Here's what I want to say to you. If you're feeling disconnected from Facebook or Instagram or social media in general because you feel hurt, feel that hurt. Don't try and sideline it and go, "I know I need to be posting anyway." What I learned personally, and had an epiphany about something totally unrelated. If you don't let yourself feel that pain from whatever it is, and listen, let's be real. You can be pained from social media. It can hurt you. It's true. You're putting yourself out there. or you're seeing things that have nothing necessarily to do with you, but disappoint you that other people are doing or saying, yes, it can happen. Give yourself that time, that break, that permission to pause, whether that's a week, whether it's 2 weeks, whether it's a couple months. That is okay. I personally have done that. I have done that actually several times. Ironically, not this past year, but over the years, I've done that when I just was like, I have nothing to say. My voice is done. I'm done. When my dad had had a stroke, that was like emotionally just so it was a lot. It was a lot. And after those of you who listen to the podcast, when that happened and just all he was in South Africa when that happened. So it was pretty intense. My sister thankfully was with him. But I'd spent not even 72 hours, maybe 48 hours. I flew to the UK to when they were finally coming home to meet them and help bring my dad back. He's okay now, y'all, just so you know. Thank you for wondering. But after that, I had nothing to say. I had nothing, nada. There was nothing I could say. I just didn't have the chutzpah to wake up every day and be my normal self on social media because I just didn't feel normal. And so I didn't. I took a full month off of Instagram. Did I lose followers? Hell yeah, I lost followers. But did I find myself? Heck yes, I did. Or bigger, hell yes, I did. I found myself. So when I was ready to go a month later and start back that wheel, I had a message. I had things to give. I'm fine with losing followers. If people want to leave me because I'm not saying anything, that's fine. That's better than me getting up there and being like rah-rah when I didn't feel it, or saying too much, right? Using social media as my full-on diary that just goes on. You did not want to hear how I was feeling for the month. You didn't. Trust me, you didn't. And so I give you permission. I want to remind you, you have permission to pause. You have that permission. And it's an important thing. And you're like, yeah, I stopped Instagram. I did. I was still on it. I was still teaching it, but I was like, I can't. And that's not the first time that's happened. When I moved to California, it was hard. Listen, I was in Texas long enough to say I was a Texas girl. And after 15 years in Austin, hey, ATX, moving to California was hard. And it had its ebbs and flows with me. And it was super difficult. And at times I'm like, I have nothing to say on social media. And so I didn't. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you have nothing to say, or if everything you want to say is doom and gloom, not like we should all have highs and lows on social media, but if it's just like, I have nothing to say except I want to rip people's heads off, then maybe you should just, take a pause. I give you permission. I grant thee permission to pause, go live life. But here's what I want you to do. And this is what I tell my clients when they say, Rox, I need to take a pause. That is fine. Take that pause. But there's a reason you're taking that pause. Remember, you're exactly where you should be. Take note of that pause. Journal that. Because what you're going to come back with, you're going to be stronger than ever. And you're going to have a life experience that is going to help someone else. Maybe that pause is going to help someone else. Maybe that pause is what someone else is going to relate to. And here's the interesting thing. Just because people pause from social media doesn't mean they're not on it, right? Can we agree on that? Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. But what would it look like if you came back and like, I had to take a pause because of XYZ? Someone who's probably not saying anything is what we call the lurkers might be like, oh, thank you for that permission. She gets me. And the more you're relatable, the more people who want to relate with you. And the more they want to relate with you, the more they want to spend time with you. The more they want to spend time with you, the more they want to buy what you have to offer or join you in business. So take that time. And you know what? I don't know how long if you're like, well, how long am I allowed to take? As long as you need. Just know that the work you've done so far on social media will reward you. Yes, you may lose followers in that moment. That's fine. When you're ready to come back, your people will be there. When you're ready to come back, you'll be better than ever and you'll have a message and you'll have that relatability. So just take that pause. I'm going to pause right now and take a drink out of my mug. Okay, so that's a big pause. But what about the little pauses? What about those times during the week where you're like, I've got to post, I've got to do XYZ, and all I really want or need to be doing is to take a break for me. There's a reason I'm wearing this robe, because I want to remind you that self-care also might be those little pauses. It might be that rather than posting that thing you're going to post today, you might post it tomorrow. That's fine. And you know what? I want you to celebrate that. I also moved the room around. You'll see a little bit of my office because my office has also become my gym, because my gym decided it just really wasn't going to be open more than a week and then shut down on us over and over again. So in the meantime, homegirl Roxanne got a Peloton. And so this part of my office has now become the at-home gym. Why do I show you that? Because permission to pause also means permission to work out. And for you, might be taking a walk. It might be doing push-ups. You can see right here, I've got my weights, which I got some really heavy weights. I did 25 pounds. I did 25 and 15. 15 is medium, 25 what works with my deadlifts. And then the bike is right there. And then the mat is right here. I have learned to give myself permission to pause. Even if someone is like, Roxanne, Roxanne, you can pause. You can answer that later. You can go take a 20-minute class or a 30-minute boot camp or 5-minute boot camp, or maybe just a quick 10 minutes yoga or something and pause. And you know what? I feel better when I've done that. Why? Because I put myself first and I decided to fill my cup so I can pour it into somebody else. If you're not exercising, which is totally possible, especially over this last year after the pandemic, I stopped exercising full on, y'all, full on for months. And I'm sure I told you this, but Thanksgiving weekend, I said, okay, Roxanne, enough of those shenanigans. You're going to get yourself a Peloton. Even though, y'all, my workout of choice is not getting on a bike that goes nowhere. Although it's better than getting on a treadmill that goes nowhere. I don't understand that at all. Being a jazz dance instructor for 15 years, I'm all about group fitness. I love that. I love the dance aspect, especially. But what I found is I get the group fitness aspect and I love the coaches and whatnot on Peloton. So that's been my jam. In fact, tomorrow, just so you know, I'll have done my 100th strength class. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, because I started Thanksgiving weekend. It says from now to then 100. Then my bike came last month. So I'll catch up and get 100 eventually there. But I made a promise to myself that weekend that I was going to do some type of workout every single day. That was my promise. And I've kept it so far. Keeping promises to yourself is a very important thing. Maybe even more important than keeping promises to other people. Because how can you keep a promise to someone else if you're not willing to keep it to yourself? And so I've made that promise that I'm going to do something every day. And since the bike came, I've been trying to cycle every day. I'm gonna let myself do that till I may get tired of it. And I may not cycle every day, but I'm gonna do some type of workout on the Peloton or in the One Peloton family every day. What are you doing to get yourself in motion? What are you doing to sweat a little? It's good to push your body, your heart in some way. I give you permission to pause. And if that means you don't post that thing or you don't do that live video that day because you decided to take time for yourself, then kudos on you. My one thing that would be take a picture of it and celebrate that in your stories or on your post. I took it because that is not only relatable, but it's real and it shows who you are. I almost did the podcast from the Chase Lounge. I did. The reason I didn't was because, I hope you can see that. Somebody else, there she is. Because Baylor decided that the Chase Lounge was hers. While she would have let me spend time with her there, she might have got a little riled up. I'll have to tell you, my dog has taught me, Baylor's taught me to take a rest. She'll just make these decisions. I'm like, you're not even old yet. But if you can't learn from your dog to take a rest, who can you learn from? I was going to be all snuggy. I've got my little booties, my cabin socks thingies, and I was going to just hang out there and rest with you. Take a moment to pause. For you, that might be binge watching a little bit of Netflix. Do it. You might be like, oh my gosh, I stayed up like back in college and I was up till 2 a.m. watching Bridgerton. Do it. I was listening to music on Spotify. Do it. Take that time. Here's what's interesting about that. Not only is it good for your soul and good for your head, your mind, but it makes you, I'm going to say this again, more relatable. When a few weeks ago, I posted something at Bridgerton, that so much interaction based on that. Listen, if you are only focused on your business, and you're not focused on the way you are relatable to your target market, so you're not focused on living your life, you got nothing to talk about. Oh, she's going to talk about those eye wipes again. I can't handle it, right? These things, you taking time for yourself is showing the value of that, and it is making you more relatable with your peeps. So today, I grant thee permission to, and I'm Lady Wilson of Bridgerton. I don't know what else. I'll stop. I give you permission to take a pause. if you're listening, you probably need to hear it. You have permission to take a pause. If that means taking pause on your social media, do it. Take the pause. But the only thing I want to know is this. Do me this favor, will you? This week, as you practice taking a pause, hope you do that more and more, I'd love for you to tag me on your story or post at Roxtalks. Tag me and show me your permission to pause. I want to know how you took that permission and how you paused, which means you actually have to do it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay. All right, we're going to slide right into behind the scenes. And behind the scenes for me right now is that it is day 3 of the summit. Y'all, the Social Media for Network Marketers Summit, you know, I've been talking to you about it for quite some time. You know it was coming back. And now it's almost over, which bums me out because while a year ago seems like so long, like literally a year ago, the pandemic, while it was around in the world, it didn't feel like it was here quite yet. It was here, but we were still going out and doing things, a little more cautious, but we were doing things. So that's a lot has happened in a year. And it came and went just so quickly. I'm like, well, how can it be over? I want to do the summit every single day. But of course, we would miss it if we did that. But okay, so this is what I love about the summit. It has been such a great place for my clients as well as network marketers who never even knew who the heck Roxanne or Roxtalks was until the summit, until they saw something and said, oh, I'll try this. The epiphanies, the aha moments, they just keep coming. And I am so thrilled. The speakers, as I've been telling you for weeks, were phenomenal. Like, I mean, they are phenomenal humans and their message was phenomenal. I didn't think that we could top last year. It was topped, which means I'm going to let myself enjoy this. And in March, I'll start thinking about the crap. We got to top it again next year. But it's been so smooth, so fantastic. I do want to shout out and thank my production team. Again, I tell you, I don't live in a silo. I don't do this all by myself. It would be a bloody mess. Be entertaining, but I can't do a summit on my own, nor would I want to. And the Fempreneur family who put together that's what they do. They put on summits, rocked it out of the park in so many ways and made it and allowed it so that I could do what I love and do my strengths so that I could shine there and help people there while they did all of the things in the behind the scenes. And it's been such a blessing. My mission, my purpose of doing the summit was very, very specific. Mission and purpose is to help network marketers become the CEOs of their business, to help you understand how social media is a funnel and how to grow that, and to be empowered to really make decisions for yourself and your business and not because someone else told you, even me. And so I think we can say mission accomplished. I really do feel that way. Mission accomplished, and I'm thrilled about it. I will mention if you're listening or watching day of Wednesday, this is the last day. If you are like, I need some accountability, I want to go further. This summit was awesome, and I want to go to infinity beyond. The Social Stories membership closes with all the fun summit bonuses tonight. So take advantage of that. If that feeds you, we'll put a link down on you can go to Roxtalks podcast or Social Stories membership and find information about that. And of course, there'll be a link in the notes for you as well too. So I am just so thankful and I'm humbled and I'm excited and just all these great things are happening. Like I said, thank you. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I went to the summit, I want to thank you personally. Thank you for giving us a week, for saying I'm going to lean in and make this a priority. Thank you for that. And I just thank you. And I hope and know that this is going to be that spark plug to really get you going for 2021. So I'm thrilled and I'm humbled in a big way. All right. Hard to believe that it is the 18th of February when we're recording this. Hard to believe that, but it's true. It is. And which makes me feel like February is almost gone. I guess there's still some time. But I want you to know how phenomenal you all are. And I'm so thankful that I get to spend time with you every week with this podcast. So I hope that you take this permission to go and pause. I'm going to relax a little and just enjoy the week, the phenomenal week that it's been. I mean, we still have closing ceremonies and whatnot, but it's been phenomenal. I'm thankful. On that note, You're not ahead. You're not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Thanks for listening to Roxtalks. Permission to pause, and I will see you next week for another episode. Take care.